Right, so we're back for the final week of figure drawing. Okay, so with the final week of figure drawing, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing some sitting poses. Sitting poses are a little bit more difficult, and it all comes down to whether or not, one, you understand proportions. Okay, so hopefully you understand proportions by now, and two, whether or not you're using your sighting techniques correctly. Okay, so sighting techniques, we talked a little bit about whenever you're trying to draw something, even the objects that we had set up in the middle. It was figuring out how big that cylinder was next to that little cube. Okay, how big was that sphere next to the cone? It was figuring those kind of things out. That is sighting techniques. Okay, so that goes with drawing anything. Okay, how big is this compared to that? Where is this in relation to that? Okay, that's sighting techniques. And that is something that you're definitely going to need to use on these sitting poses. Okay, so I have a couple drawings of me sitting. So looking at these, let's see here. Got that one. That one's going to be a little complex. That one's even a little bit more complex. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a standard sitting pose. So that would be the one that I'm going to go with for my first drawing. Okay, now again, sighting techniques are crucial, and you're going to fill your paper. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is the circle and the faceplate. Okay, so a circle and a faceplate. Okay, so from that circle faceplate, my neck is going to come to my shoulders. What you'll notice is that I am tilting my shoulders. Okay, if you were drawing somebody in person, you would take your pencil and you would do this kind of thing to try to get the angle exactly right. You can kind of do it with your phone. You can actually lay it on there just to try to get that right angle and whether or not it's working. Okay, so right there, that's about the angle of my slouch. Okay, and I'm going to put my shoulder here and my other shoulder here. Okay, always comparing how far the edge of the head with the edge of that shoulder be. Okay, so again, that's sighting techniques, how far over compared to how far over that is. Okay, so from that, I'm going to show that slouch, and that slouch is so crucial to get that central axis. So basically that backbone, okay? Getting that backbone and how it's sliding out away, okay? So with it sliding out away, I'm going to the waist, okay? Now the bad thing about doing a sitting drawing is you're not going to be able to do the halfsies things like you did last week. Okay, so you're just going to have to make sure that you understand how long the legs should be, and that's why sighting is so important. Okay, so here we go. This is slouching out, and I get a little bit of a bend to that. Okay, so you don't have to make this perfectly rigid like it's a hard edge ruler. Okay, it's got a little bit of a bend. That's going to give it a little bit more character. Okay, so now from this, I have a leg coming from here and another leg coming from there. Okay, so from those two, I'm actually going to start with the left side leg there, and that left side leg is going to continue out. Now, usually, and with all the drawings that we did here, okay, the leg is obviously falling down. With this portion here, it's actually going to the side. Okay, so if I was to figure out where that hinge was, where it links in with my hip, okay, where it starts at that hinge, it's going to go out pretty much straight out, okay, and from there I'm going to guesstimate that my knee is right about there, okay. That knee then is going to angle in slightly, okay, so from the knee the leg is going to angle in slightly, okay, and my foot is going to kind of be propped up something like that, okay. Now this is one of those difficult things, okay. This knee, okay, so this knee is coming toward me, okay, and because it's coming toward me, I'm going to, one, make it larger, okay, so it's going to be larger than that knee, and that's just to help me, okay, so it's coming toward me, and it's doing something like that. From there, it's going to angle down, and it's going to sit lower, okay, so what that makes that feel like is that hand, or that knee is coming closer to you, okay? So the example that I'm going to show you is, this hand seems huge compared to that hand, the same size, okay, but this one seems larger, so draw it larger, okay, so that knee is going to be a little bit larger, okay, so from there, I have a good understanding of you know, the legs and the abdomen. Now I need to get my arms, okay, so figuring out where is this shoulder in conjunction with that elbow. Well, that elbow is coming real close to sitting where My legs would begin. Okay, so that comes down to there, and this is positioned right there. Okay, this is actually propping a little bit, so it's a little bit higher than that elbow. I'm going to say it's there, and then it's going to sit on this leg. Okay. Now, if you notice, I didn't have it sitting on that leg bone or that leg, the stick of the leg. Okay. What I did is I just had it sit above it. Okay, because as with the other ones, I'm going to bulk these up. Okay, so looking at this right now, always go back and figure, well, did I get this right? And you can't do the halfsies thing, but you can look at it and go, okay, is my head too big or is my head too small? It's usually 50-50, okay? With students, beginning students will either have the heads ginormous, okay, or they'll make them too small, okay? With my drawing right here, I think my head is too small, okay? So what I'm gonna do, keep the same shape, I'm just gonna make it just a little bit longer, okay? And I think that's good enough, okay? So from there, I can add in the bulky, okay? So adding in the bulk here, I have that, get it here to there, okay? And that collar will help define things, also show how stylish I am, and the bulkiness of the arm is shown with those wrinkles, okay? Wrinkles of the cloth, okay? Am I worried about exactly, how many fingers I have and everything like that? No, if you just give me just a basic idea that is the hand, we're good, okay? Let's move on to the next thing, okay? Bulkiness on both sides of this. Wrinkles seem to be more on the bottom on this guy, okay? Now let's start bulking up the legs. Okay. See, it's a little bit on both there. Now, if you notice how I'm doing this, I am extremely sketchy. I am extremely loose. Okay. The students that hate this project are the ones that want to get it right from the start. You're not. Okay. You're not going to be able to get a perfect outline of stuff. Okay. It's got to be sketchy. It's got to be loose. Okay. You're just beating your head against the wall if you're doing it that way. Okay. So be very sketchy, very loose. And that's that leg coming toward me. Now, this one will definitely help, okay? I didn't really stress with the last one. Oh, you got to get shading in it. But for these sitting poses, I want you to add some shading into it, okay? And the nice thing is, not having to do small consecutive circles, okay? You just want to put those kind of things in there, just so that we get a little bit understanding of that this has volume, okay? We got a little bit of volume on this side, so it feels like a cylinder, okay? Maybe I add a little bit of shading here, so that we understand how that part of the jeans are flowing, okay? Adding in a little bit of wrinkles, okay? Now, you'll notice my shoes, I'm not really paying much attention to them, okay? Not terribly important. What would be important is, right now it looks like I'm doing like a flying kick, or I'm starting to do a flying kick. It would be important to show that, yeah, I'm sitting on something, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show just a little bit of understanding. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to get every spindle correct, but give me at least enough that we understand, oh, this person is sitting on a table or on a chair, okay? So we don't have to have a perfect understanding, but an understanding nonetheless is important, so that it feels like it's a stable person, okay? I'm gonna add a little bit of background, maybe even put some shading in there. I can figure out where everything is, and since it's me, I'm gonna put my Cub hat on. Okay, pretty stupid looking hat I got right there, and not because it's Cubs, but because I kind of drew it stupid. Okay, see, okay. All right, so right there, that is what I'm looking for for one of your drawings, okay? And you're gonna have to draw 4 sitting poses this week. Make sure that you include some shading and make sure that you're paying attention to sighting techniques. So to review, sighting techniques. This, from this waist, how far over is this knee in comparison with the waist? Where is this elbow in conjunction with that elbow? Okay, those are sighting techniques. How far from the nose or the edge of my face is this part of the shoulder? Okay, it's compare and contrast. It's sighting techniques, and it's something that you definitely need to be incorporating in all of your drawings, especially these sitting poses. So for this week, it's 4 sitting poses. Okay, and I'm going to collect all, you know, the standing poses and the sitting poses. That's going to be all combined, and then we are going to be done this Friday. And next week we will start with the still life, and that will be your final. That'll be your final drawing that you'll be doing in here. Make sure that you're using typing paper and you try to hold on to at least one good sheet of paper from the Mad Dash whenever we left the building. So hope everything is going well, and I'll see you soon.